Hi, y'all. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Brenda with Blessings and Bread. Today, I'm going to share with you 4 festive holiday beverages that you can serve to your family and friends at all of your gatherings. All of these are recipes that I have personally uh, had and used over the years. Come to me from different people, but they're all wonderful and they all kind of fit a different category. We're going to start today by making some spiced tea mix. And I love to make this every year. It's great for sharing. You can give it as gifts and either put it in a fruit jar or a gift bag, snack bag, and you can share that as a gift, or you can just keep it for yourself and have it on those cold evenings, and you can make it on demand as you want a cup of spiced tea. Then I'm also going to make my signature cranberry spiced tea. That's the one I usually go to for the holidays, especially when it's cold. It's a hot tea. And then I'm making a sparkling punch. This is delicious, and I plan to make this and serve this at my Christmas brunch. It's more, I think, appropriate for a breakfast buffet. And then finally, I'm going to end with one of my all time favorites, which is coffee punch. And if you've never had coffee punch, you need to stay to the end of this video because coffee punch is just like uh, so addictive. It's delicious. And if you'll wait and see how it's made, you'll understand why. All right, now let's get started though with making our first beverage. To make this spiced tea mix, we're going to begin with a whole 21-ounce uh, container of Tang. Actually, the recipe is calling for 21 and this has 20. And I think that's something you kind of have to watch these days because they are changing the sizes of different things. But I think this will still be okay at 20. But make sure you have about 20 to 21 ounces. And I'm going to use this whole container of Tang. And you will find this in the aisle where they sell tea and Kool-Aid, that kind of instant tea. All right, that wrapper just comes off, and we're just going to put this whole thing of Tang in our bowl. All right, and then next you're going to do 6 ounces of lemon tea mix. Here, I've got that over here. So I'm using iced tea lemon mix. This was the smallest container I could find, and I needed 6 ounces. So I'll be making a lot of tea. But this is lemon tea mix. It's by Lipton, and it is already has sugar in it, so it's sweetened. So um, that's what's going in next, and I'm using calls for 6 ounces. Now this is by weight, and I did have a scale, so I weighed mine, but I went ahead and measured this to kind of help those of you who don't have a scale, and it was about 3/4 of a cup of that. It was a little less. The next ingredient is going to be 1/3 of a cup of lemonade mix, and make sure it's already sweetened. And this one is sweetened actually with sugar, and it's 1/3 of a cup. So that goes in next. And then finally our spices, and our spices are going to be 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of ground cloves. And then I'm just going to use a wire whisk to mix all of this together. This is probably a vintage recipe. I can remember my mom making this when I was a young girl. Probably they came out with this recipe in the 60s when Tang was first invented. All of us that are children from the 60s remember when Tang came out. During the space program, they developed Tang to have orange juice or orange drink on the way to the moon, and soon it became available to everybody. All right, now I've just mixed that really well with a wire whisk, and that's all there is to that. And then I like to, like I said, share it or store it in fruit jars. And so I use my little, going to use my little funnel that I use when I'm doing my other canning, and it will help to just fill that jar. And I can fill these up for gift giving, or I can keep it for myself. Another thing, if you're having a holiday beverage bar, what I thought would be a cool thing to do is to just fill up a pretty little bowl, set it aside, and then have a pot of hot water ready, and set that on your buffet, and then people, as they come in, can make their own beverage on demand. So this is a quick and easy little recipe where you can make your own spiced tea, instant spiced tea mix. All right, so now we're going to clean this up, and then I'm going to show you how to make my hot cranberry tea. Before I make my cranberry tea, I forgot to actually make a cup of my spiced tea mix. So I'm going to start with about that much. This is something you can do by taste. It depends on how strong you want it. Normally, I'm going to want mine pretty strong, but I'm not going to make a whole cup here today. And I can see, stir it up a little bit, and try this delicious tea. This is so great during the winter time. That's perfect. I love that. It's orange. It's just got the right amount of spices in it. That's very, very good. I love this, especially if you have a cold or it's flu season. This is really good if you have a sore throat. Makes your throat feel good. So this is one delicious spiced tea that you can make. And the best part of this recipe is you can make it on demand. You don't have like a large helping of it made up. All right. Now, hey Rod, now I would like to make my cranberry spiced tea. This is a recipe I've had since college. As a home economics major in college, during my senior year, we had a home management class. It was our senior home management class, and we were all divided into families, and we had to participate back then in taking care of a home that was on the campus there at Stephen F. Austin, and we had to have some entertainment activities. We had a luncheon or dinner that we had, and then there was also a tea that we had, and I think this recipe came from there. This recipe is so old that I remember it was written on mimeograph. It was printed out on mimeograph, and that, those of you who don't know what that is, tells you that it's very old. Mimeograph was before copy machines were invented. So today I'm going to make this. I've basically lost the recipe, so I don't really have a recipe except I know what's in it. So I kind of make this by just guessing, and it works every time though because it's really pretty simple. So I'm starting with, I like to use Cran-apple. The original recipe did call for cranberry, but I like Cran-apple. So it's kind of a cross between a Cran-apple, an apple cider and a cranberry tea. And I'm not going to fill this all the way full since I'm just making this for my video, but I'm going to make quite a bit because I may drink some after this. When I get finished with all my videos, while I'm editing, I can sit down and have a cup of my delicious cranberry spiced tea. It's really Cran-apple spiced tea today. The next thing that's in it is Lipton iced tea mix with lemon. Make sure you have lemon, make sure it's sweet. And again, this is where this is a taste thing. So I'm going to start with, this holds 4 cups. So I have probably about 3 cups in there. So I'm going to do about I may not do a whole fourth of the cup. And I'm going to mix this up and just, basically I mix it up every year and I make it and then I taste it as I go. So I'm going to just stir that so that that dissolves in the tea, in the cran-apple juice. And then I know I'll need a little bit more sugar. So I'm going to just put a few tablespoons of sugar in there to sweeten it up. And then, like I said, at this point, I need to start tasting it. And then I can tell, does it need more sugar? Does it need more tea mix? And then you just kind of make it till it tastes like you like it. The only spice I put in this is cinnamon. So, and I believe that's all dissolved. Get a little ladle. I'll get my cup back over here. Uh-oh. And just give it a little taste. See if it's right. That's good. I think that's perfect. Actually, the only thing it needs now is a little spice, and that spice is cinnamon. Now, this again is all to taste. I like a little cinnamon mine. I do not measure. I just sprinkle a little on top, stir it in, then I'll give it a taste. Remember, you can always put in more. You can't take it out. So start small and build up. So then I'm going to stir the cinnamon in, and I'm going to give it another taste to see if it's got the right amount of cinnamon. Let me taste again. Nope, I think it needs some more. If you like cloves, you could add cloves to this, but I would never do. I just always add cinnamon. I'm not a huge fan of cloves, but you definitely could use different holiday kind of spices in this and give it the flavor that you would like it to have. I've literally just always made mine with just cinnamon. All right, let's try it again. Ah, there we go. Now it's got some cinnamon. So, and like I said, just do that according to your taste. And now I'm going to do one more thing. This is not something you have to do, but it will really make it look pretty. And that's, I'm going to slice a lemon, and I'm just going to let some lemon slices kind of float in my pot. I'll take these seeds out. I don't want seeds in there. So, and this does make it look really pretty, but you want to not let it stay in there a long time, because it will, what the bitter part that's on the inside of the rind will begin to give it a kind of a bitter taste. But this does make this look very pretty in the pot as it steeps. Now, this can go, it's in a little crock pot. And when I make it, I usually make a bigger bunch in my big crock pot. And you can just turn it on and heat it. But very often, I give it a kickstart in the microwave. So that's what I'm going to do today. The next tea I'm going to make is a sparkling orange punch tea. And this tea is a recipe I got from my friend Marcia. I think she brought it maybe to some baby showers or wedding showers we gave at the church, or some kind of special occasion we were having at the church. And it was so delicious, I asked her for the recipe. Most punches are just fruit juice based, And this one has some orange juice in it, but the base of it really is tea. And so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to steep 4 regular sized tea bags in 4 cups of boiling water. And make sure your water's boiling. Anytime you're steeping tea, the water should be boiling when you pour it in. So we're going to pour this in, and we're going to let it steep for 5 minutes. And we'll be back when the tea is all steeped. Once your ingredients are mixed in here, you need to let this kind of get a little bit cool, and then you're going to put it in the refrigerator and chill it for 2 hours, and then you will add your sparkling bubbles. And the recipe calls for sparkling white grape juice or ginger ale. What I have is sparkling apple cider. I already had this bottle, so I'm going to try it with that. We're going to serve this Christmas morning. So my plan is to try to freeze this. I think it will work fine. So I'm going to freeze this between now and next week. Christmas is about a week away. So, it's less than a week away. But anyway, I'm still going to freeze it so it will stay fresh. And then I'll thaw it out Christmas morning. And then right before we serve it, I will pour this bottle of sparkling apple cider over it to give it a little bit of a fizz. So this is a very delicious, like fizzy punch tea that you can serve at maybe a holiday brunch. The last beverage I'm going to make today is coffee punch. And I save this for the last because it truly is one of my favorites. Although I can really overdo on this particular recipe because it's so delicious. And when I get through, you'll see why. But it starts with just making a shot of coffee with instant coffee. So what I have in here is I have 2 teaspoons of coffee. Now let me say this. This original recipe calls for a whole gallon of milk, and let's see how much instant coffee, maybe a third of a cup. So this is pared down. I pared this down so that I could just make a small amount. In fact, I even tried this yesterday where I pared it down to really just make 1 to 2 servings. In this recipe, I'm going to use 2 cups of milk. So it's going to make enough for 3 to 4, maybe 3 people today. But we're going to begin by making a shot of coffee. And I'm starting with 2 teaspoons. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't want it real strong coffee. So I cut back just a little bit on the coffee because that's my preference. But then I want to add to that 4 teaspoons of sugar. And now I'm going to add to that, I'm going to add, it calls for, when I break it down, 8 teaspoons of water. Now that basically means you're going to do 3 tablespoons, and this is water I had already hot on my coffee pot over here. And so let me get a little bowl. I think I might need this bowl here to mix it in. And so I'm using hot water that's just been heated in my coffee pot. And that is only 6 tablespoons, so I need to add 2 more, and I'm just going to measure them with my teaspoon. If I said tablespoons, I meant teaspoons. It's 8 teaspoons, 8 teaspoons, which is 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons. Is that totally confusing? The recipe will be in the comments. All right, so I'm going to combine these, the sugar, the coffee, and the hot water in this little bowl and stir those together till the coffee and the sugar are dissolved. Then I'm going to put this in my refrigerator and chill it. My coffee that I mixed up is now chilled, so now we can begin to combine the coffee punch together. And now here is the secret that I've been holding off, if you did not know about coffee punch, is what I have in this bowl is I have 1 cup of chocolate ice cream and 1 cup of vanilla ice cream. And I'm let them kind of melt. I've set out and let them melt. There's still some chunks in there. It's still very cold. You don't want it at room temperature for sure, because this is a cold dish, and you're gonna, right when you're ready to serve it, you're gonna put your ice cream into your punch bowl or your serving bowl. And then you're gonna add your coffee and milk. And for this portion of this recipe, I'm using 2 cups of milk. And of course, whole milk is probably the best to use to make it rich. And then you just need to stir. I hope you've enjoyed watching all of these recipes for special festive beverages. I know I've had a great time making this video. It's been one of my favorite videos to make, and I've really enjoyed that. And now I'm going to taste my cranberry tea. It has been sitting in this little crock pot here for a while, so now I'm going to test it and just see. I know it's going to be perfect, but now that it's heated through, I think the flavor of the cinnamon will come through even more. Oh my, yes. I can taste the cinnamon so much better now than before. Oh my goodness, I've got to have a whole cup of this. When I'm done with this, I'll be drinking a whole cup of this. Although it's going to be a tough test between the coffee punch. This coffee punch is rich. Of course, you realize it's mostly ice cream with milk and a little coffee, but it is delicious and it's perfect. People love it. Um, you know, a lot of times the spiced teas, it's kind of a woman thing, but men will like uh, this coffee punch as well. And I put it in a large glass because usually at most of the baby showers, we insist on, our friend Miss Irvlin gave us this recipe, and we always said, oh, Miss Irvlin, you have to make this recipe. And she's now 92 or 3, and she can still make it for us. And we always ask her to do that because we love it. And I start the party with a little punch cup, but pretty soon I'm over there in the cabinet at the fellowship hall looking for a solo cup because I get tired of refilling my little tiny punch cup. It's that delicious. Um, but also packed with calories, so you might want to use keep this in mind and maybe just make this for a special occasion. Oh, that's perfect. I don't even drink coffee and I like this. Usually, I don't like anything that even has a hint of coffee flavor, and this does. I could even make this with a little less coffee in it. Probably just the ice cream and milk would work for me. But I do like that the coffee's in there because the coffee just kind of cuts the sweetness of the ice cream that's in there. But anyway, it is a delicious um, punch that you can serve for any kind of festive occasion, from baby showers to wedding showers to even holiday get-togethers. I'm going to take another sip. It's delicious, and I love that I was able to pare this recipe down so I can make a small amount if it's just for a few of us or just for me. All right, I hope you've enjoyed all these videos. I want to thank you so much for watching my channel, for liking it, all the comments. Thank you. I see that I have some very faithful watchers, and I thank you for being those faithful watchers. It's what's helping my channel to grow, and it is growing. I am not a YouTube specialist, and I don't know too much about what to do to make it grow, but I know it wouldn't grow without you watching, and I thank you for that. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe and come along with me on this journey as the new year begins. And I will see you the next time I'm in my kitchen, on my porch, or in my garden. Merry Christmas.